This podcast was created on the lands of the Ngunnawal people, the Wurundjeri people, and Ngāti Pawa. We acknowledge the contributions of Aboriginal, Torres Strait Islander, and Maori people to making rugby league the greatest game of all.
You're listening to NRL Hellmouth, the podcast where we open up a portal to the rugby league realm to see what horrors and delights we can unearth. My name is Simon, and I'm here once again with a couple of guys that bloody live for this game called rugby league. Daniel and James, what's cracking, fellas?
Feeling pretty good. Beanies and bucket hats to both of you. James, how are you?
Good. I just want to reiterate, if you're from Queensland, I hate ya. You wear your dumb little shorts, you drink shit beer, you're stupid in your head. I hate you so much, and that's you, Simon. You.
This is
like your mangoes. Oh, makes me so angry.
I was going to say, this is one of only 2 times a year where I really lean into my Queensland heritage. Origin season and mango season. Get a Kensington pride up here.
Yeah, I like an R2. Yeah, I like an R2E2. You'll be all day, the best.
Mate, I don't know how to do this, but I want to get in. I've got to get in between these fellas. It's getting out of hand.
Oh, all right, we'll try and keep it together for an hour or so for the purposes of this podcast. Anyway, coming up in the show today, we'll be selecting some players for the first ever Middle Earth XIII, and we're launching a new segment showcasing the many emerging comedians we see coming from the rugby league community. Lot to get through before then, so let's open it up and raise some hell.
There's the kickoff. Let the party begin.
I undeservedly apologise to everyone for my actions.
I didn't intend to disrespect anybody, and I definitely didn't do it on the car.
Well, I've been watching the seagulls, and not one of them is eating.
This is a horror movie. Rugby league. What else can this grand final provide?
Does it get stacked live on television?
Stop it, it's starting to hurt.
Now, of course, last night we saw
Hang on. Whoa. I'm going to take it from here, Simon. Thanks very much. Wanting to inject a little bit of early positivity into the episodes. We tend to sort of, get mired in a rather unfortunate and unflattering dissection of the week in league. But I really want to just spread a little bit of joy early in the episode and have a bit of a positivity warm-up. And I thought I'd do it by way of a little Aussie bush ballad, just to get us in the mood. So if you'll indulge me. A Thursday night, the Dolphins beat the Raiders, what a sight! Fins up 4 times and counting, stick thinks the rules are shite. Then Friday night, the Dogs did bite the Storm, no origins here. And old Marcelo Montoya didn't suffer diarrhea. Sorry, I don't have the rights to the chorus. On Saturday we were treated to a Bonza double treat. The Wasl Stars were hungry and Dragons were dead meat. Then Fosbol got the applause all of us Leagues fans love to show. The Cowboys had a Sunday treat of roasted rabbitoh. Oh boy, let's boot it home. But Monday came and old mate Andy Abdo stepped aside, sped up the ruck, that dead set fella served our league with pride. Lucky for us, old Pete is still there serving from the bar. We have 6 again for these fine young men and old Mal Meninga. Boy. So yeah, a little bit of excitement just to get us
lovely.
Excited.
Dan, I reckon click go the likes when you put that one up on social media this week.
Specifically Facebook. Potentially not TikTok. Yeah.
I was very disappointed that I couldn't get the rights to the chorus. I had a stunning 6-6 again, boys, 6-6-6, and the ref looks around and his hand moves quick. It writes itself, but as they say, hell hath no fury like a Aussie bushman's contract lawyer. And I was issued a cease and desist cobber. So, we'll let that one go for another week until we start bringing in the big bucks.
I'll try and keep that vein of positivity throughout the entire program. We'll see how we go.
But you did also make me think, Dan, that the mark of the beast this year and the beast of rugby league has certainly been 666 again, and I'm sick of it.
That's right.
Now, of course, the other big thing we need to talk about is the first chapter of the Men's State of Origin, which took place last night. If you are indeed listening to this on Thursday when the podcast comes out, it's a bit awkward for us, though, because we're actually recording this podcast on the Wednesday afternoon before the game has taken place.
Not awkward for me, as I hate Queenslanders as much now as I record this as I will tomorrow morning, regardless of the score. Win, lose or draw. Hate you.
Yeah. Duly noted. We will try and do an in-depth review of the game for you, though. So, of course, the winner last night was the New South Wales Blues. And I thought it was a great game. What did you guys make of it?
Yes, I agree with all of that. Laurie Daly would be pleased with their team's effort, while Billy Slater will need to find some answers before the next game at the MCG in 3 weeks. James, do you think the last coach I mentioned will be making any changes for the lineup of Game 2?
Hell yeah, and maybe no.
Yeah, agreed.
I thought Ashley Klein had a terrible game. That will leave most fans feeling ready to riot. All in all, I think it's fair to say that it was a game of rugby league played on a Wednesday night that we all watched until the end.
That concludes our review of the first State of Origin match. But keep listening because we've got some reasonably entertaining segments coming up.
I love the Bears. I do. I love being a big bear. Big cuddly one, no. Not the big bear, the big cuddly one. There's a place for rugby league and there's a place for the Perth Bears.
Only weeks after talking up the golden era of rugby league he'd helped create, Andrew Abdo has sensationally quit the post of NRL CEO to instead take up the helm at Tennis Australia, where I believe he's already exploring the possibility of holding the first round of the Australian Open in either Dubai or Miami. Now, a few questions about this. Did Andrew finally sit down and watch a full game of rugby league in 2026 and realise he had to get out? It was a case of a rat deserting the sinking ship? Or was he forced out so Overlanders can launch a total power grab, the likes of which hasn't been seen since Germany 1933?
Yeah. Well, that's a good question. Do you think PVL will just hold on to this quietly? Sort of like a Scott Morrison, I think, of those latter days where he was sort of naming himself in quiet the minister for various portfolios.
Various things, yeah.
Just to sort of get, good continuity across governance. But, I wonder if PVL is going to take everything over.
Yeah, I think he is. We know he's going to fill in as both CEO and chairman. I believe executive chairman is the official name of that role. Mm-hmm. For the next 4 months while they allegedly look for a new CEO. But in the announcement press conference the other day, he was asked several times about whether he'd be taking on a more hands-on role after that time, and he always fell back on the old, I don't want to talk about me today, this is about Andrew today. Yeah. But he did just happen to drop in that if he was to become an executive chairman, they would actually have to change the rules, which the clubs would all have to approve or would have to vote on to change. So he's just kind of floating that as if you guys want me to run this game as a dictator.
He just reminds me more and more of that fellow across the Pacific. It's alarming just how often, how many similarities there are, at different scale, to be fair. But he did mention in the press conference that the secret of Andrew's resignation had been kept under wraps for a week, if they are to be believed. That would then sort of throw off our theory that Andrew is waiting for a good week of rugby league to sort of go out on a high.
Maybe he just wanted to see his prophecy that from rounds 11 to 23, 11 to 15. Yeah,
12 to 15.
Which he then changed to 12 to 15, was going to be slightly closer, which it was.
Well, he was right.
So he's like, well, I'm done. Yep,
He's just, look, say one thing. Say what you will about him. He's a savvy operator. He drew a line in the sand on round 11, failed beyond miserably on that. Round 12, if you didn't watch the actual games, you would think that's an improvement.
Thrilled.
At no time did any team get a 20-point advantage. Growing discontent within rugby league media, led by this podcast and its listeners,
and
I think it's that's right. Pretty to say we're rugby league podcasters' favourite podcast. He saw the writing on the wall and he walked at that point. And listen, Andrew, game recognises game. Appreciate it, but you will not be missed from the perspective of this podcast. That's a lie. I was like, man, I had so much material. I had months of this guy. I only just put him in the frickin' prison. He didn't even I had a whole thing about it this week. I had a note that he was going to send me. No, he's just fucking quit. Well, time to find another person to talk about every week.
That's right. If indeed Volanders does not go the full coup and take over the game completely, who do you think would be a good candidate to replace Abdo. The most popular name I've seen mentioned by just people in comments on social media is Braith Anasta.
Yeah.
What do you reckon? I mean, I assume he'd still be able to act as a player agent if he took on the role, correct?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, why stop at, several fingers in pies? Why not get your whole fists in there? I think, for the exact reason that he's the worst choice, I think that's also what makes him the perfect choice for such a role. That would be great for the podcast because we've already built up quite a significant canon of Anasta content. So while I'm not looking forward to that, I'll take a silver lining where I can.
I think the downside of Braith undertaking the role is that he does understand the game, watch the game for most of his life, and probably has an appreciation of its true essence.
Oh, this is the downside for getting it done.
Yeah, getting the job.
Yeah,
whereas with Andrew, he worked in South Africa in one of the big four consulting firms, moved to Australia not long after that, then had a role within the NRL as their commercial director and then moved up into CE and was then able to not sell or promote rugby league, the actual sport on the field, but the idea of it. And then, of course, garnered a great deal of success.
Yes.
Including, I think, the 2,000 people that watched the Magic round on Fox.
Las Vegas round.
The Las Vegas round. So I think that was almost a total of 10,000 across the three matches, something like that, on TV. Yeah. So just really good.
Well, there'll be big shoes to fill, but I think you're right. I think it's going to be PVL's call, and I dare say he'll want someone that will work better for him on a business level than one that really understands the heart of the game.
True. But if you think about PVL and what holds true to him, which we will speak about later in the show, which is, of course, comedy over anything else, one of us should potentially at least apply for the role because I think we would be a very good foil. And we could just send him the segment last week about, what's it called again? PFL? AP, what is it? LFA? What is it? The LFA? The people down in the FLA? Down in, what's that town called again? What's that town down south where they do that thing with the sticks and the balls and they're throwing it around? And what's that place down there? Anyway, I don't know what it is. Anyway, we could just I could do that. I could riff on that for a good 2 hours of a board meeting with him. And I think it would be quite good.
Yeah, well, that's great. He'd be so caught up in just the banter that he wouldn't have a chance to fuck with the game anymore. Yeah. It'd be terrific.
But I think, just a quick, here's my short list of CEs off the top of my head. Ricky Stewart, number one. For obvious reasons, need I say more? Number two would be a former player in the Kieran Foran fold who just finished playing and then seemingly stepping into a different role other than playing is very easy once you've played at the highest level. So I don't know who would be potentially good at that. Christian Welch, he'd be all right as a CE.
Oh, yeah.
Got his heart in the right place. Smart guy. I think he's got an MBA. And then I'm just thinking something from left field, a very weird person that would also be effective. Someone like Fletch and Hindy or Fletch and Hindy just together.
Oh, a two-piece.
Yeah, I think Fletch and Hindy, behind the humour and the pranks, they're actually quite smart operators. So I'd be more confident in Fletch and Hindy taking the reins than I would in Nesta.
Wow.
Only if they always appear in a double-width suit with like two neck holes. So it's like they're one person.
I'm actually thinking, like, as soon as you add Fletch and Hindy to PVL, you've almost got, you're on your way to a Marx Brothers combination. And so you just need, like, PVL would always be like, you were idiots, and kind of, slapping them over their head, and they're sort of spinning around on the floor and that kind of thing. But the Jape game would be fantastic. And probably, just quietly, maybe PVL sort of idolises their comic stylings, wants to get in on that action. This could be the long game.
It would be good to know who he does idolise because the mileage he's got out of the FLA. Oh, boy.
My favourite
I don't know what's going on in his head.
My favourite is when he gets the wrong word wrong and he actually goes for AFL accidentally. There's a few, I'll try and pull them out for next week. There's a few clips where you can actually hear he accidentally says AFL before going, oh, hang on, I'm supposed to say FLA. which is definitely when you know that it's wedged pretty snugly right in there, up in his brain.
So one of our the champion of Australian, Peter Valand, he's like President Trump.
So, guys, this week the Rugby League Players Association has released the results of a survey of players about the rule changes in 2026, and it makes for some interesting reading. Just a few stats off the top. 84% of players believe that referee interpretations are having more of an impact on match results compared to last year, which is obviously something that everybody wants to see. 73% of players said they always or often feel more fatigued in the later stages of a match. 2/3 said this fatigue impacts their tackling or skill technique. 2/3 said they're in more pain after a match compared to last year. And about half said it's taking them longer to recover. And over 60% said they're more concerned about injury compared to last year. So
Stop whinging, players. Yeah. Is that where we're going?
Think it's a bit concerning for players.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
And therefore for the NRL, I haven't seen any stats on whether the actual amount of injuries are any worse or the degree of them. But as far as I know, the NRL has to provide a safe workplace for its staff, that is the players, and manage risks to health and safety like any other employer as much as they can.
It's a very good point, Simon.
Based on these results, the rule changes may be having the opposite results. What do you reckon?
It's a very interesting way of putting it. And as you say, like if that was your sort of office HR manager that got all of this feedback, it would
be a crisis meeting of the board.
It would be huge alarm bells. But as you say, like, I mean, we're not talking about someone feeling intimidated because someone ate their lunch from the office fridge. We're talking about impacts that have lasting effects on these athletes' lives. And it's not simply a case of us trying to, gear the game towards being a better spectacle.
Yeah. And interesting given how much, the NRL has done in recent years to reduce the risk of serious head injury, which I think, most people would agree has made the game a bit worse to watch, but you got to do it to, protect player safety. That then if they are introducing these new rules that theoretically could make it more likely that you're doing bad tackling technique because you're buggered and smacking somebody in the head,
then you've got to loosen the strings.
Is it undoing their good work?
Yeah. I mean, this all goes back to, I think, what was it? A month into the season, it was revealed that the Players Association was not given the heads up at all on the rule changes. And so this is their sort of formal response, and I think it's a pretty severe one. So I would certainly hope that it was taken seriously.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I think at the moment they're just throwing it out as a, here's something we're keeping an eye on.
Or could it be not taken seriously? Just a little perspective. I wonder how it actually play out, because if you look at those surveys, they could well then say that the RLPA has lost confidence, or, one of those types phrasing in the game's management.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think that could only occur if, in fact, injuries do have an uptick meaningfully, and I don't know where the stats are on that. So players can feel more fatigue, they can feel blah, 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 but it needs to play out at some point.
That's right.
To do that effectively. What is a no-confidence motion with it? But certainly in looking at it, it feels like the players, I mean, they should have just asked, hey, do you think it's kind of crap on the field? like, hey, we're hearing that some fans are kind of finding it boring and silly to watch. Do you agree? That would be a more useful data point for the NRL to act on.
Yeah.
Whereas they've kept it kind of neat. But unfortunately, there's no media platform. Or maybe the ABC that could actually just run a simple poll that says, what do you think of the NRL product this year? Good, bad, bleh. And that could turn some dials. I don't know what to do anymore, because the powers that be, we got traction on give up at 20, few little tweaks by the referees.
Yep.
And Ben, looking at the data, 84% believe that referee interpretations are having more of an impact on the match, right? Mm-hmm. Couple of tweaks based potentially on what Andrew could put out of the prison to say, listen, we don't want a 20-point blowout this game, guys. See how we go. All right, that happens. And then it just plays out from there. Don't know. I'm actually at a loss. I'm just happy that State of Origin game last night either inspired me to know that the game can be good, or alternatively has made me feel worse about it.
Well, maybe the maybe the fact that last round we didn't have any give up at 20s due to the Origin period means that the simple solution is if we just make it so that the best 20 players in the NRL don't play every week, and then we'll have some nice tight games.
That could be the problem. Their players are too good.
Exactly.
We need worse players
so
on the field.
Get rid of the best 40-odd on both sides.
Yeah.
And then I think we can go back to 18-16 scorelines. Terrible games to watch.
Well, but then you'd have an Origin game
until the end.
Yeah, to have an Origin game every week as well. So we'd actually have 22 State of Origins.
Wow. Which is very good.
Shit, they'll probably think that's a good idea. So I have 22 State of Origins and then everybody else plays in very tight games. Amazing. We've solved it. We went from not knowing 2 segments ago. We didn't know what the fuck was going on with rugby league. We have now solved it in 15 minutes.
Absolutely.
Done.
I don't know what the teams would be thinking about having their best players poached.
Doesn't matter, Dan.
It
doesn't matter what they think anymore, man. Stuff just happens. They'll still get money in the bank.
The Rugby League Players Association can put out a statement about it. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
You can sell off the 22 State of Origins to Prime Video.
Absolutely.
Sell off the international games.
You want a record-breaking TV deal, the Landers. This is the way to do it.
It's true.
22 of those beautiful jewels in the crown every season.
It's not a bad idea.
Not a bad idea.
I'm now pretty sure we've made the shortlist.
That's right.
Is that another call coming through?
What? How does this keep happening? We don't even have a phone.
Go ahead, caller.
Me again.
Craig?
Yeah.
I don't suppose you've come here to gloat about the weekend's results by any chance?
Yeah. In addition to my beef with you blokes, actually.
Okay, what's up?
Where do I start?
Is there...
The way you're demonising people who are getting behind the new game?
You think it's unfair?
Yeah. Take my voice, for example.
Yeah, what about it?
Pretty unrealistic. Unflattering at the very least. And what was my catchphrase again?
Gotta get behind it.
Actually, that was solid. Keep it.
So, Craig, are you sad to see Andrew Abdo stepping down?
Devastated. Feel like I've lost a mate. And Tennis Australia has gained an angel.
All right.
At least that's what I'd say if I was real.
We're done.
We're behind it, boy.
Okay.
That's really interesting. That was like a voyage into the fourth dimension. I certainly is a draining presence on an otherwise upbeat show.
I think you're right. Yeah, sort of counteracts all the early positivity that we established at the top of the episode. But we'll endeavour to wrestle it back.
Yeah.
What absolute madness. Well, it might be madness, but I've enjoyed it, and I hope the viewer has as well. That's because you're mad. What? You're mad. That's a lovely way to go to a break.
Something that was announced back in April that is now looming as a disappointing part of winter is that Try July, the Sportsbet-sponsored Try Celebration charity initiative for the NRL has been scrapped for various reasons. And that means basically that in July now we won't get to know as middle-aged people what the latest cool memes are.
Very true.
Primarily. I mean, there are some other flow-on effects like the $2 million or so that have so far been raised through the Try July.
For the initiative,
Through the initiative won't be able to do again.
Where is it fallen down? Is it a case of the funding is not being stumped up, or is it... that they're trying outlandish behaviour needs to be nipped in the bud.
Well, it's complex. It's certainly not people pretending to be the little guy on the front of the boat in the Indonesian boat races, which I think they want. And, handstands, bowling balls, rocking a baby, shitting out a ball. I don't think I've seen that yet.
No,
but I would like to
see
see a poop out the ball. I think that would be
Marcelo
cool.
Montoya.
Yeah, he would
do that one.
He would have. This is what's happened, Dan. Try July was sponsored by Sportsbet. A few conflating forces are against it from occurring. One of them is many teams are sponsored by other betting agencies or betting sub-brands. So therefore, if a player would be, for example, shitting a ball out, but they've got a Neds
thing on their their back short. You'll see the ball come out. It's for Try July. You might also see the Neds, and then it's just very confusing as to who I'm then going to make the bet for. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So there's that going in.
So difficult.
And then the other thing is that the federal government is also going through gambling reform, which is going to restrict the amount of gambling-based promotion that can take place in the sport.
Right.
And because of that, it's basically big business at play, and therefore Try July is not going to occur this year, much to the sadness of the RLPA, because obviously the funds raised by Try July was very helpful for the RLPA in assisting players that had been injured either during their playing careers or afterwards.
Also, sorry to be, common sense Carol over here, but why doesn't the league just say it's Try July? And it doesn't have to be connected.
Everyone has to do it.
Commercial mechanism.
Otherwise, it's no try.
Well, you must follow through.
You don't celebrate. Yeah, it's overturned.
But why can't we celebrate a pastime without it being, linked to some sort of branding opportunity?
Because exactamundo, dude.
Thanks.
That's what we've been working about this entire season, is that the answer is in our face. And quite often we are so hindered by our own conservatism or lack of go forward within the game now, because we're caught up in the bright lights of commercial optimization, that we miss what we should be doing, having a laugh, shitting a ball out, ramming into one another. I don't know. Whatever you want to do with the frickin' ball, do it in July. It's a boring shit cold month with a bye round in the middle of it.
I mean, the good news is it feels like gambling companies are still helping out a lot of former players, given that they sponsor a lot of podcasts hosted by former players.
That's right.
Tip of the week this week, 4 p.m, Broncos Dragons. It's Dragons time. Get your money on the Dragons, guys. It's going to happen at some point.
I did feel very bad about making that prediction last week because I think I was telling you guys there's a guy that lives around the corner from my house. I'm in Melbourne, and there's a Dragons supporter, a youngish guy, and I think he must have moved down recently, and I think he's living in a share house around the corner, and he wears his Dragon stuff all the time.
How many Dragons supporters do you reckon there are in Melbourne, Dan? 5 or 6?
Probably count them on one hand.
No, it's like Simon, come on, mate. 8 or 9.
There'll be enclaves out somewhere in the suburbs. But anyway, he's very much a lone Dragons supporter, and he's always out in his gear. And I saw him hours before the Dragons played the Wars, and I sort of had that stupid idea. I've never connected with him, but I thought, here's a great opportunity. I wound down my window because he was standing on the same corner that I was stuck at while waiting to turn. I said, I've got a good feeling about you guys winning today, and he was sort of completely confused. And he looked down at his Dragons logo on his fleece nightgown that he was wearing out on the streets, just to show how hip this guy is. And he looked at that and sort of looked at me like, is this what you're talking about? And I nodded to him. And then he rubbed his heart in a very tender way and looked deep into my eyes from the distance of 5 meters. And I felt there was great connection. So I'll take that positive, even though I think the next time he sees me, he'll think that I was sort of some harbinger of
He won't,
evil.
Dan, because next time you see him, you're going to connect with him further and report back on the podcast, and we'll make a segment out of it called the cool segment's called, and you'll probably do a good intro for it because it's your own segment, and it's called Cool Dragons Guy, and we just want to know the story of the connection, and then when they finally win a game, we can celebrate with him.
That's a good point. I think it'll start with a hip-hop beat, and it'll be called Connecting with the Youth. But yes, my apologies to all the Dragons out there, but I think this could be your week.
Jape of the week.
Classy, don't you think?
Very classy. Yes, it's a brand new segment called Jape of the Week. We're going to share the absolute best jokes, pranks and banter from players, commentators and anyone else in the rugby league community.
Long overdue.
I'd say so too. And it's no surprise who our first nomination for Jape of the Week is. An emerging comic we've been showcasing quite a bit recently.
Yes.
Back again with some brilliant new material. It's Peter V'landys. PVL fronted the media, of course, with Andrew Abdo to make the official announcement about Abdo's resignation the other day. And just have a listen to how he kicked things off as soon as he sat down in front of the press.
Good afternoon, everybody. Very hard day for me personally today. it's with much disappointment that I announce that Andrew Abdo joined the One Nation Party and got going there for this afternoon. You all thought it was Tennis Australia, but it's not. No, jokes aside, Andrew is leaving us to be the CEO of Tennis Australia.
Oh boy!
Oh,
now, just to be clear, that was not canned laughter in that clip. Every laugh you heard was completely natural.
Oh my!
It was the laughter of awkward politeness.
Yeah,
I would
exactly.
say.
And I'm sure there is nothing funnier to a migrant like Andrew Abdo than somebody joking that they're going to go and join the anti-immigration party.
That's right. He was very consolatory later in the presser where he said, "Oh, Andrew's actually a bit more of a left-wing guy," which is, I thought, very nice. But, all of that was there while Andrew was sitting right next to him. And it's kind of fair to say that was Andrew's press conference. And you were mentioning earlier in the show how PVL had tried to maintain a spotlight on Abdo, but what a way to kick it off.
Real great David Brent energy in that one.
Yes. We all know that just because Pete doesn't land a joke the first time doesn't mean he won't have another crack with the exact same material. So a minute or two later, here's what he said.
The rapid growth of the game in the last 6 years has been extraordinary. We've got more viewers, more revenue, more assets, more everything. And so it's very sad that he's going to Tennis Australia.
He's done it again.
It's great. Go praise the guy, give the guy some genuine praise, and then just dig in with your gag again to make it back about you.
He's so quick.
He's
so quick on his feet.
Very quick.
And the timing is impeccable.
Oh, it is. The timing is completely out of the FLA playbook there because it's him having that momentary stammer when he sees it coming on the horizon. He's like, "Oh, wait till I stitch him up." Good.
Reminds me a lot of another great modern comedian, Elon Musk, who has a platform where everybody will listen to anything he says and really just knows how to use it. To unleash an absolutely piss funny punchline. So I reckon, message to Channel 10 executives if you're listening, I reckon you can snap up the broadcast rights for an absolute steal just by offering Pete a regular spot on Are You Paying Attention as part of the package.
That would be great. Just across from Channel 10, however, was a little bit of excitement over at Channel 9 during the Cowboys-Rabbits game on Sunday night when Brad Fittler came under fire for describing Tom Chester of the Cowboys as Chester the Molester. He's since apologised. There was a lot of media scrutiny. But what I don't think anyone is talking about in the media is that this is the sickest case of people throwing stones in glass houses. Because we've got, Brad Fittler, yes, he's known as Freddie. But I'm sure he and his family would have, at various times in their lives, been called the Fiddlers, Brad the Fiddler, Fittler. So I'm just wondering, is this sort of that case of, people in marginalised populations, they sort of claim that they're able to use off-colour remarks aimed at their own cohort, which would be, otherwise wildly inappropriate for other people. Is this a sort of a case of him saying, well, I'm the fiddler, so I'm going to call you the molester, and we're all even? Clearly, the media and the NRL community did not agree. But still, well done, Brad. Great entry into Jape of the Week.
Absolutely. Some terrific ones there. James, as the impartial judge here, who would you award to our first Jape of the Week to?
I have to award it to PVL, and that is because his were intentional japes, very much so. And he didn't have to walk anything back confusingly. He seemed to have won out. So he wins that round. What I would like to see next round, and what seems to be quite unique to rugby league, is actually visual humour or humour that is not solely based on wordplay. So, for example, last year, the winner of Jape of the Week was Reece Walsh drinking out of a toilet.
Yeah.
Because it had a huge cultural impact.
Certainly did.
And he didn't need to speak when he did it. It just came to him. There's a toilet. It's got water in it. I know it hasn't been used. I'm going to have a drink from it. Do you know what I mean? That's the perfect essence of something that really punches through
into the zeitgeist.
And I think I have a feeling if PVL could merge his stand-up comedy with some visual humour or prop-based humour, he would be very hard to beat. Very hard to beat. Yeah.
Well, we'll be keeping an eye on it. The challenge has been thrown open to everybody in the rugby league world. Get your japes in.
In the air! In the air! In the air! Goal!
Guys, I recently rewatched some of my favourite movies, which is, of course, the Lord of the Rings trilogy, extended editions naturally. And while I was once again delighted by the world that Tolkien created and has been masterfully brought to life on the screen by Peter Jackson, I couldn't help notice that despite inventing an extremely detailed history, complete mythology, and multiple grammatically consistent fictional languages, Tolkien failed to include any mention of rugby league in his writings about Middle-earth.
Is there a sport? Is there even a sport?
Don't think so, no.
I feel like we could assume, however, that if there were a sport, it would be rugby league.
No, wait a minute. There is a bit where in the books where a prequel where a hobbit knocks a guy's head off, and maybe a goblin's head off or something, and it goes down a hole, and they say that's how the game golf was invented. Anyway, no mention of rugby league in to all of Tolkien's writings on Middle Earth, which I think is a shame because a lot of his characters would absolutely tear it up with a Steeden in hand.
Yeah.
So I was a bit inspired by James's Magician's Tome the other week to have a think about which characters from Lord of the Rings I'd want to see in my my Middle Earth XIII. So I'm just going to talk through some of the main characters from the trilogy, and I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on whether you'd want them at your club or not. Let's start with Frodo, the ring bearer. Now, not a big guy, but I'll say one thing about him. Good at taking the tough carries all the way to Mordor, you know what I'm saying?
That's a good point.
He is carrying a chronic injury after getting stabbed in the shoulder by the Witch King at Weathertop, so I think for that reason I would be leaving him out of my team.
He could be on the bench 14 utility.
Yeah.
But he just doesn't got the right rugby league attitude.
I agree.
Too many questions. Do you know what I mean? Not forward enough.
That's right. A lot of questions, a lot of whinging.
Yeah.
Has he even got the nous to be in the spine, though?
Well, he would be a hooker, but he doesn't have the mentality of a hooker, of Ennis, Smith.
Yeah.
He doesn't have that niggle or grind in him.
The endurance.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's right. Fortitude.
Yeah. All right, we'll leave him out. His good mate Sam Gamgee, though.
Better.
Now, again, not a big bloke, but I do feel like he's the ultimate club man. He's, loyal, humble. He'd give his all. He'd give his all for 80 minutes plus.
He'd give his all for a 3.5-hour director's cut as well.
Reminds me a lot of Alan Tongue, the former Raiders captain. Remember him? Not the biggest guy or most talented player, but bloody hell. He loved the club and he made all the other players around him better.
Yeah, good call.
So I reckon I'd pick Sam as perhaps hooker or 14 utility off the bench.
Also, he has got a rugby league name, Sam Gamgee.
Yeah,
brilliant
very true.
rugby league name.
And it's Gamgee from dummy half. Crosses over for the try.
Samwise has shut the ball out. Beautiful. Another $5,000 to the RLPA.
Samwise Gamgee, Hobbiton.
Bloody hell. Yeah, mate. The Gondor v. Rohan State of Origin series would be epic, wouldn't it? Wow. Now, Merry and Pippin, I'm including these two as a package deal because that's normally how they show up in Lord of the Rings.
True.
Look, lovable larrikins, but I feel like they'd be very lazy trainers, and I reckon Pippin would have an extremely lengthy off-field rap sheet.
Yeah. Extended bench?
Nah, look, I think they're the kind of blokes you'd love to meet up with on a bye week, but I just think it's a white powder scandal waiting to happen. Don't think they fit the culture of the club.
Yeah, okay. Well put.
Almost like a Fletch and Hindy thing. Non-playing colour.
Yeah.
Integral to the team, but ultimately off-field is better.
Yeah. Perhaps, maybe we could just bring them up from reserves for just like a handful of games, just so that they then have the rugby league pedigree to go on to a media career. Cooper Johns style.
Yeah, Cooper Johns.
That's nice.
Yeah. Moving on, Aragorn. I mean, I think instant in.
Yes.
Big guy, strong guy, fast guy, good-looking guy too. Maybe a bit of kind of Paddy Carrigan about him.
Yeah.
Also a great leader, so I'd probably have him as my captain.
Yeah, Isaiah style.
Now, what do you think about Gandalf? Seems like he should be past it, but he can still move. And obviously very wise, so I think he'd be good at sort of reading the game. Another bonus is he's basically immortal, so that's good from a roster management point of view. No. If it's a season-ending injury, he can just come back with a different body and cloak collar.
A standoff, 5'8", perfect. Gets it when he needs it.
Yeah.
Directs round.
And a lot of cap space. You like that?
Yeah. Hang on. What's Gandalf's most famous line in the movies?
Oh no!
You shall not pass. He's fullback.
But does he have the speed, Simon, that's required in that to cover?
I think he can move.
Or
He
you
doesn't
think
do
he
it
passed
much.
the spell? Whoosh.
From memory, he needs his staff to do magic, which obviously
That wouldn't be allowed on the field.
The RLPA would be too keen on that.
Yeah. They would be in playing strip. They wouldn't be in their robes when they played, just as a note.
Rounding out the fellowship, Legolas, fast, famously light-footed. I'd reckon you could slot him in at winger in any team.
Absolutely. Wing. I think he's also probably pretty good slipping past.
Yeah.
He's an asset.
I reckon he'd probably be a good goal kicker
a screen
as well.
And getting out under the high
slot
ball
him as well as he
on the
slots
wide
those
out.
arrows
So,
into an orc's forehead. What about Gimli? Small guy, but, solidly built. Feel like he could be a good hooker in sort of the Tom Starling mould.
Yeah, I think hooker lock potentially could move around the field a bit. And I would love to see him grab the ball up close and crush over.
Also probably good in the Starling mould of being a bit of a agitator, shall we say. He's probably
a bit
not
of niggle.
too bad at a bit of sledging within the in the scrum. So, yeah, he's certainly in there.
Just a few other characters. What about Gollum? I mean, he's a real shit of a bloke, but maybe that's why it'd actually be the ultimate rugby league grub.
That's true. That is true. And he'd be cheap, so, wouldn't cost you much on the cap. So
he is so irritating. I think he would just irritate everybody. You need to have a cohesive team.
Well, that's a good point, actually, James.
Could Gollum be the ball? Just tape him up. Run around
maybe
with him.
Maybe Gollum would be good as like a ref because everybody,
Oh, that would be good.
Everyone hates him anyway.
Yeah.
Sex again, my precious. There's unfortunately only 3 female characters in the, major female characters in the movies, which is not enough for a Middle Earth RLW team.
He didn't think about that, did he? Seemingly,
no,
he just sort of went on with a bunch of guys for however long and however many books.
But I did think that in any case I'd be signing Eowyn, the Shield Maiden of Rohan, for my team. She's very tough, stabbed the Witch King in the face, so
halfback.
I have her in my team. And she did do some cross-dressing in the movie, so, she'd be an absolute hoot at Mad Monday.
Now, that's an asset.
Just a couple more. Now, Saruman the White, very smart, very cunning, very arrogant, so I'm thinking maybe Rugby League Commission chairman.
Yeah. Spot on.
And do you think there's a role for Sauron in a Rugby League club? A great eye wreathed in flame.
Bunker.
Sounds a bit like Bellamy. Yeah.
He's the bunker.
Yeah.
I mean, watching over everything.
An all-seeing eye that fails to notice what's literally right in front of him.
It's called This Week in Hell. It's called This Week in Hell. It's called This Week in Hell.
Awesome. Thanks so much. And thanks, Dan, again for the rockin' theme song.
I've got some exciting ideas for a bit of a... Reboot.
Wow.
I did notice we had Jape of the Week this week with an excellent intro.
Yeah.
Even though it was the first time we've done it and we don't know when we're going to do it again.
Oh, you like that one? Okay, so I'll take that on board. I got some ideas.
Origin's over. It was either good or bad, we know that. And we've got a relatively full dance card this week within the NRL. Buys for Dolphins, Rabbits and Titans, so we'll just get out of the way. Biggest game of the season so far. We're close to halfway through the season, if not already halfway through. Clear first and second team, Panthers, Warriors.
Yeah.
They will be playing Sunday night at 6:15 in CommBank Stadium, Sydney. Interesting to see if the Warriors can take the Panthers. Panthers would have had many players who have just played Origin. Sometimes that works out fine, sometimes not. And Warriors have had continuity, and certainly their form on the paddock's been good. So that one is legitimately one to look forward to.
The Warriors are building so much hype, and rightly so. And it is so exciting to see a team like that where the fan base is getting so excited about this year's campaign, and certainly it'll be a great test for them. So I'm looking forward to that one.
And apart from that, I would describe what's in front of us as a round of football. There are
You just
games.
don't know. I mean, there's potential there.
There are games between teams that will be played on a field with 2 40-minute halves. Friday night, Sharks, Eagles, a couple of teams in and around the 8.
Yeah.
Could be interesting, but it is always good to see a battle between two teams that have water-inspired names. So, yeah, that one's one to watch. I think West's on the way down and Bulldogs potentially on the way up, so that'll be an interesting one to watch. A marquee game in usual season, not the bizarro season that we're in, Storm vs Roosters on Saturday night in Melbourne. Interesting to see how that plays out. And then, of course, the Dragons, red-hot favourites with this podcast against the Broncos, who many of whom would have just been in Origin, I think, as well.
I think, that's the thing. The Dragons, they're just going to get a whiff of weakness, and they'll be off to the races.
I think I saw if they don't win, then it will be the worst start of any team to a season in history of the game.
Either way, they're a winner. If they win, they get that win.
Yeah.
And I might make $40. If they lose, then they have got a legacy that will be very hard to beat.
And also, don't forget the Game 3 of the Women's State of Origin is on tonight. Obviously, doesn't mean much in the context of the series, but I think Queensland will definitely be looking to win that one for their state, especially after the display the men's team put on last night. Whatever that was.
I don't want to hide in the coach's box. I'm here to fight, here to win. I'm on the sideline with the team fighting hard as I can.
Alrighty, time to close up the Hellmouth once again. Thank you very much for listening. We appreciate your support. Please subscribe to this podcast if you haven't already. And now it's time for James's final thought.
I actually do like you if you're from Queensland, and if I moved anywhere in Australia from where I live now in New Zealand, I would definitely move to Queensland. And
so you're coming to Melbourne. Thought you were coming home to Canberra.
So don't worry. No matter how you feel today after the State of Origin last night, you're a winner in my heart and in the heart of the NRL Hellmouth podcast. Sometimes you need to understand that there are 4 dimensions that we're working in. The first dimension is, I don't know that one. The second dimension, I think, is a flat plane or something along those lines. The third dimension is 3-dimensional and the physical realm that we now deal in. And the fourth dimension is humour. That is the dimension of Peter Volandis and NRL Hellmouth. And I hope you're enjoying the fourth dimension now. Ave physics! Ave Queenslander!
Stop it, it's starting to hurt!
Terrified about this. I said to you, Simon, before this, I've seen this segment looming on the horizon, and I'm terrified about putting a word wrong because they will come for us. The Lord of the Ring. I'm sure they've got a name. I'm even terrified to label them.
The name is Nerds. The nerds will come for us. That's okay.
Come for us.
Good luck to you, Simon.
I've based this segment off the cinematic adaptation.
Okay.
Not, haven't read the Silmarillion, haven't read the Unfinished Tales, any of that stuff. So it's very much mainstream lore that we're dealing with here. But if you do have any objections, then please do write in because I love that stuff.
Please write in with a quill on parchment and do the thing where you pour tea on the paper to make it look old and wrap a ribbon in it and then send it to...
Elvish only, please.
P.O. Box 666, wherever NRL Hellmouth.
Don't overstep the line, James. They will come for us.
Yeah, true.
All right.